You just got married, or you're applying for a green card through marriage. In order to get approved, you're gonna have to convince an immigration officer that your marriage is based on a relationship that's true and genuine, not just something that you did for immigration purposes. Not just something that you did to get a green card, but it's from the heart. A lot of my clients, their minds are blown away by this and they can't grasp exactly what this means. How do you prove that your marriage relationship is genuine? Is the officer gonna come to your house? Are they gonna give you trick questions? How does this work? And I have to admit, it is a little bit weird because the way that immigration determines whether a relationship is genuine, it's quite different than the way you might think about relationships. So today, I'm gonna give you the secret sauce. We're gonna talk about the big four. These are the four main ways that you can prove that your relationship is genuine. If you don't know me, my name is Josh Goldstein. I'm an immigration lawyer and I'm the founder of this YouTube channel, Immigration Station. And here at Immigration Station, we're all about helping people get unstuck and overcoming obstacles so you can reach your goal. The obstacle we're talking about today in this video is how to prove that your marriage relationship is genuine. How do you do it? What's the best way to do it? I'm gonna give you the big four. These are the four main ways to prove that your relationship is genuine. Number one, a jointly filed married tax return. That's the number one way. That is weighted very, very heavily. And you don't want to file married filings separately. You don't want to file head of household. You want a jointly filed married tax returns. Now, there's all sorts of reasons why you might not be able to do this. Maybe one of your spouses doesn't yet have a Social Security card. Maybe you already filed your taxes at a time when you weren't married. Maybe there's some issue about like back taxes. One party owes back taxes, and if you file jointly, it'll mess up your refund or something. And I made a whole video especially on this particular issue. But if you have an opportunity to file a joint married tax return, this will be weighted very heavily in your favor. And if you file married filings separately, they will ask questions about why you did that. Let's talk about this separately. Why does USCIS, why does immigration attach so much importance to a jointly married tax return? Why is that such a big deal? Why? It has to do with the fact that your financial arrangements are jointly entangled and they're shared. They like that. To the extent you can share your money, that would be good. To the extent your financial arrangements are separate, that would be less helpful. Let's say that. Number two, have a lease with both your names on it. Or if you own real estate, a deed with both your names on it. You jointly hold property or you jointly hold a lease. Now, sometimes people say, Josh, you know, it's a lot easier for me to go month to month, and here are all these reasons why I can't add my spouse's name onto my lease. And I understand why you might not be able to add your spouse to your lease, but immigration is going to be judging you. They're going to be making assumptions based on the fact that your name isn't on the lease. It's all about proving that you live together through financial documents. And if you have a lease showing both your names on it, signed, that lease is going to be given a lot of weight by immigration. So the number two way is a lease with both your names on it. The number three way that you can prove that your marriage relationship is genuine is by having a joint bank account. Before you just run out to the bank and open up a bank account with both your names on it, I want to talk a little more about the bank account and what it should be. Some of my clients, what they do when I say, oh, you should go get a joint bank account, is they go to the bank, they open up a bank account with both their names on it, they put $200 in the bank, and they say, okay, here, I got a joint bank account. Yes, it's true that you have a joint bank account if you go with your spouse and open an account and put $200 in the bank, but that's not going to be very useful to prove that your marriage relationship is genuine. What they want to see is a jointly held bank account that has money in it, money contributed from each spouse. And what would be even more helpful is if you can show that you're actually using the joint bank account to make purchases. And especially if you can show that the joint bank account is used to make purchases for your household, that you're sharing your finances, that you're paying your utility bills together. If you're buying a car together, maybe you save money and you put that in there. Maybe you pay for trips jointly by entangling your money together in that joint bank account. Maybe you use the joint bank account to pay your rent and all your funds go in there and the rent is paid out of that account. That would be extremely helpful to prove that your marriage relationship is genuine if you're paying these joint household expenses from a jointly held bank account. If you just put $100 in the bank, $200 in the bank, and you have your names on it, I don't think that's going to be weighted very heavily. That's not the magic trick to get your green card approved. Number 4 reason and way to prove that your marriage relationship is genuine is by jointly having health insurance. If you have medical insurance and you can add your spouse on your medical insurance plan, that would be weighted very heavily. It would be a good thing and that would help you get approved. Now, there are all sorts of reasons why you might not want to do that. Maybe people say to me, Josh, I can add my spouse to my health insurance. It's going to cost me $500 more a month to do that. Do I really want to do that? I think USCIS is reasonable, and I think that if you say, listen, we don't have health insurance together because it's going to be much more expensive to do that, then that's understandable. And it's not required that you have joint health insurance, but if you have an opportunity to have joint health insurance, you should take advantage of that because USCIS and the immigration authorities are going to like that. Joint health insurance, joint taxes, a jointly held lease, and joint bank accounts. Those are the big 4. Now, people say, is that the only way that you can prove your marriage relationship is genuine? No, of course not. What if you have children together? What if you go on trips together and you have proof that you went on trips together? Photos showing you're together. All these sorts of things are very, very helpful. There are many, many, many ways to tell the story of your relationship and to show that your relationship is true and genuine and from the heart. And these are just some of the best ways that I know of. Now, there is one way to show that your marriage relationship is genuine that I absolutely hate, and that is getting a letter from a friend. If you're gonna have to prove anything, getting a letter from a friend is the worst way to do anything because those letters are very self-serving. Most people have a friend who's gonna vouch for them and say anything. I don't think immigration attaches much weight to a letter from a friend. Focus instead on the big, juicy, most heavily weighted stuff like that. If you have questions, let me know, and I'll see you in the next video.